Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Good evening. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, with
Brian Held.
Brian Held. How the hell are you, buddy?
I have gotten no less than 4 requests to be a stormtrooper for Gishways. So.
Oh, I thought you... 4 requests to sign my baby.
No.
People are just hurling their children at you.
Gishways
sign my
is
baby, Brian.
in full effect, right? That's
okay.
The
Misha Collins from Supernatural.
Yeah, that
Castiel.
Right. So, yeah, it looks like I'm going to be on a streetcar tomorrow night as a stormtrooper.
Okay, don't get mugged. So what else? So what's the deal? The stormtrooper has to
Well, so with Gishways, there's all of this whole list of all of these things you need to take pictures of.
Yeah, right.
And in this instance, of course, after the Death Star exploded, a lot of stormtroopers are out of work.
Oh, yeah, right.
The Empire has really robust social safety nets.
Okay,
and
good.
they've gone into transportation. So
nice.
We need pictures of stormtroopers in mass transit.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Right, exactly.
All right, let's lay out the show real quick, Brian. Now, right out the gate, we're going to do Top Nerd News. In the second segment, we have Sherry Melanson from Thinkarella.
Yeah. Right.
And then the third segment, the Slants, right?
Yeah, we caught them last week at MechaCon. MechaCon.
Yeah, MechaCon.
And
we're losing track of all these cons, dude.
I know, it's crazy. And we're going to hear that in the third segment. And, of course, the fourth segment is This Week in Geek History.
As always. So without much further ado, let's get into Top Nerd News. And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. Well, Brian, you know what should be topping us off right now?
Thing that you showed me earlier today.
What was that again? I totally forgot to turn on your microphone.
Thanks. It was that video you sent me earlier today, and I was like, what am I watching?
This video you're talking about?
Yes.
You recognize those sultry tones in your ear?
Is that the Hoff?
That is the Hoff. No less than the Hoff.
The two of them walk by, people say, oh boy. They ask me why I'm bringing.
He's so bad.
It's terrible in the best way.
If you want to see this video, go check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek Radio Show. So the Hoff it's a straight up 70s disco, like the whole weird ass bad clothing, bad dancing, but Batista's in it.
Oh, yeah,
your girl
Gilliam.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
And even Chris pops up at the end.
He does. And, of course, this Marvel Studios dropped this today.
Today.
And it's an advert for Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that's going to be available.
That's what's the worst part is we love it so much we're actually giving them free advertising.
Yeah, well.
That's just good. That's good advertising, though, man.
No, they did a good job.
So, I'm looking forward to getting my copy.
Yeah.
You're going to download it? You're going to buy it? What are you going to do?
None
of the above?
I don't know. I'll probably buy a hard copy.
Tattoo it to your butt?
Oh, geez.
Something like that.
So,
all right, speaking of butts, Stephen King, he saw his new movie, The Dark Tower.
What did he think?
Well, he liked it. Of course, that's what he told the interviewer. And he said, I liked it. The hardcore book fans, maybe not so much.
There's a lot of mixed reviews airing on the negative side that I've seen.
Here's the thing. Now, normally I'm all on board the negativity train, but
yes.
Today, though, I feel that I'm going to get on the Rotten Tomatoes train that I don't like because they are exerting a lot of influence on the movie industry right now. It's got a Rotten Tomatoes scores 31 or 29.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that that's an aggregate site, not just for reviewers, right? Critics, actual critics,
right,
but for the populace as well. I think it's actually a good thing. Hollywood really needs to get its act straight, right?
Well, all right, here's the problem, though. So Rotten Tomatoes is based on an aggregate of all these people on Twitter and all the other Instagrams and everything else, the whole blogosphere, where, as we all know, that's a very positive, upbeat place.
Well, Yeah, but I understand what you're getting at. However, there are movies that are good that get positive scores, both from critics and the populace, right?
Okay.
But we can recognize, because we rail on reboots all the time here at the Week in Geek.
Yes, we do.
All right, that Hollywood has a serious problem, so much so that Viacom execs this week are headed to China in order to defend the movies that are coming out to their Chinese investors who have who have invested like $1 billion in the industry and are concerned because they've been losing money on things like Transformers: The Dark Knight or whatever else.
Well, they deserve to lose money on that.
But that's the problem. Why can't we get good content?
Reboots.
Right?
Reboots? Don't talk to me about reboots.
Thank you, voice guy.
Well, and I
love how I got him all liquored up. He'll do anything for us now.
I've read not one but two articles about Steven Soderbergh. He's the director of Ocean's 11.
Okay.
Right? And
that was a good flick.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape. He also did that as well.
That's a good one. Yeah.
This guy is trying to break the Hollywood mold. Right? He's working on a movie that's coming out called Logan's Lucky. It's sort of like the cousin of Ocean's 11, but it's two guys who are trying to rob some kind of NASCAR track or something. It's
oh my God, I think I saw something about that. Yeah.
Right. Well, the thing is he owns all the content.
Okay.
Right? And he's completely bypassing the studios. And if this works, then you won't need the studios to get the content out. You can have complete control.
All right. I mean, look, I'm on board with that. I understand that. But, I mean, how many people can actually afford to do that? How many people are going to be able to do that? Well, I mean, Hollywood's got a chokehold on the industry.
They do. But, there's a lot of folks out there who could come together. I mean, look at what we're doing with John Armijo and the Hopeless Star Wars short story thing.
Right.
I mean, we had 50-plus people out 2 weekends ago filming this, right? Putting together our efforts to create this product.
Okay.
I mean, I think that people can break the mold.
All right, but I mean, you're talking about a lot of bank. I mean, how many people have that kind of money that can crowd fund all these kinds of things?
We'll see what happens with Logan's Lucky.
Do I look like a cat to you, boy? Am I jumping around all nimbly-bimbly from tree to tree?
No.
All right, Meow, you ready to get on this, Meow? Super Troopers 2 is going to be coming out.
Yeah.
And it was crowdfunded as well. They got $4.4 million to make their movie.
Wow.
Because Hollywood didn't really want to mess with them. And this is funny stuff. All right, Meow? I mean, it's really good. And so if we can do that, then, hey, I mean, but that was...
Look what's been done with Kickstarter and Indiegogo and GoFundMe and
Well, Stephen King. All right, so let's get back to that. How much money did they spend on the Dark Tower?
The Dark Tower had a $60 million budget. It looks like they're going to gross 19.5 just this weekend.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
Bad news, everyone.
Right.
Well, I don't even know how to respond to that, dude. All right, well, let's just keep on trucking. Back to reboots.
Yeah.
Reboots?
So
don't talk to me about reboots.
This one I'm actually excited about. Friggin'
what? Stop the presses.
Hellboy. It looks like it's going to get a reboot with Ian McShane.
Okay.
He's going to be
the dad who finds him.
Right.
Yeah, the Professor Broom.
And yes, and you know what? Look, Ian McShane can star in anything, and I'll watch it.
Oh my God!
I
fanboy.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, American Gods is fantastic.
All right. Well, what about the guy the who's going to be playing Hellboy? It's David Harbour from Stranger Things, the sheriff.
I like him.
All right. Well, why are we rebooting it?
Because
why?
Probably because it's been too far out of the populace's eye, and I
couldn't disagree more, man.
We only had those two initial movies, right? And there was a bit of finality there. It's just I didn't like I liked those movies, but there was something missing about them, right? And I think that if we start fresh on this, I know this is a departure from my normal position, but if we start fresh with Hellboy and see where it goes, I'm actually excited about it.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly? That's a question you should ask yourself, Megatron.
So Transformers they're going to make a new movie, but it's going to be a cartoon movie,
animated
movie. Now here's the thing, Brian. they're going to base it off of not the cartoons. They're going to base it in the
live action cinematic universe, whatever. Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. Why we agree on something. I mean, look, even though the 86 Transformers movie could have been better. I mean, it gave us some great lines. Unfortunately, it gave us, Rodimus Prime.
Right.
But, why keep it in that? Why can't they go back? I mean, here we are talking, it's not really like a reboot, but I mean, why not just go back to the well that was good instead of like number 5? I mean, technically this will be like number 6 almost.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've been talking about it for the past 10 minutes or so.
Jesus.
It's just, Hollywood has a serious problem, and there's so much talent out there. There are so many people out there who are writing good stuff, who are making good stuff, that are not getting the breaks.
Well, they're not going to. They're not going to.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that? Sensei?
Is this whole segment just going to be terrible productions?
Yeah, because YouTube Red is now going to reboot, technically, Karate Kid. They're going to make, there's conflicting reports out about it right now. But in essence, YouTube Red, they're going to pick up 30 years after where Karate Kid left off.
Yeah, Cobra Kai is what they're calling it?
Yeah, Johnny is going to reopen the Cobra Kai dojo. No mercy!
Yeah.
Right, here's the thing, though. There's reports saying that it might be a comedy. They're going to be 10, 30-minute episodes. So I don't understand. Are we going to have, like, these guys going through, midlife crises? And they're just going to be like, I got to open a dojo. I got to find myself again. Center my chi. And then, have other kids beat up little other kids.
It sounds like a dumpster fire.
Probably. Probably so. But speaking of dumpster fires, let's just go to break.
All right. Fair enough. Guys, when we get back, we're going to be talking.
We're going to do a montage. Montage. No.
We're going to be talking to Sherry Melanson-Franz, the CEO and founder of Thinkarella. Guys, you're listening to the Week in Geek Radio Show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Sports 1280 is your new home for uncensored talk about our teams with Chris Gordy, Duncan Holder, Josh Innes, Jordy Holtberg, and Corey Johnson on 1280 AM and the free iHeartRadio app.
When you're in need of pain relief, come to Need It Relief Massage Therapy. Kat is an experienced licensed massage therapist. Check out her website and book your session online now at massagetherapykm.com. Need It Relief Massage Therapy for some much needed relief.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktieTans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-224-5353. That's 800-224-5353. 800-224-5353. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now.
Inconceivable!
Follow The Week in Geek on Instagram at The Week in Geek Radio Show.
Ha-ha, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
Here's David and Brian.
Welcome back. This is The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is your host, D Squared with...
Brian Held.
Inconceivable!
That's new. Good job,
It is
Dave.
new. Yay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Introduce our guest, damn it.
All right, guys. In studio with us, we have Cherie Melanson France. She is the CEO and founder of Thinkarella. So, hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, what is Thinkarella?
So, Thinkarella is an educational program, and we do STEAM. So that's science, technology, engineering, art, and math for kids 3 to 13. On the weekends, we do birthday parties and Girl Scout and Boy Scout sessions, and then general workshops. And then during the school year, we have an after-school program in multiple schools across the city, and we hire teachers to facilitate the program.
You know, I think it's great. You know, we hear the term STEAM all the time. Or, I'm sorry, STEM all the time, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. But it's STEAM, right? It adds the art in there. And how cool is that?
Yeah. And I mean, speaking as a creative and knowing a lot of creative people, I think art is just a huge part. And by adding it, it actually gives us the opportunity to explore maybe some things that wouldn't be super safe to do in the classroom. So we'll do an art project on fireworks, and then we get to talk about how fireworks are made and how they're set up and like how the fireworks displays work.
Well, my wife is an educator, and I know how difficult it is for our educators to get that extracurricular material because they're so focused on standards and you know, teaching to the test type deal or whatever. But how did you get into something like this? Was it to supplement that, or?
Actually, so I have absolutely no background in business, science, math, none of that. I'm actually just a really fun mom. And so we would do, I would always look on the internet for like fun things to do with my kids.
Right.
And my daughter, I had planned a birthday party for her on the North Shore. There was a Groupon.
Yeah.
And it was a spa party. And so I bring her and 6 of her friends, and we go to the spa party, and I'm watching these young, beautiful, bright young ladies put on makeup and get their nails done. And I'm watching it in absolute horror and thinking, what am I doing? Like, this is not what I should be teaching them. And wouldn't it be great if I even thought in my head, like, even if they did the spa thing, what if they made their own lip gloss and talked about chemistry or like literally like anything? And so the whole drive home, they're giggling in the back seat, and I'm thinking, how would I do that better?
Right.
And I thought, well, instead of a spa robe, I'd give them a lab coat. And instead of a spa mask, I'll give them safety goggles. And I came home and I told my husband, I want to start a company. And he's like, okay, let's go to bed, because they were all sleeping over. And the next morning I woke up and the name had come to me overnight, and I said it should be called Thinkerella and we should aim it towards girls. And so he was like, okay, check to see if that has been trademarked.
Right.
And it wasn't. So I immediately applied for it. And then moms of boys, like I started out like talking about it on Facebook, and moms of boys came to me immediately and said, wait, hold up, we don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So thinking on my toes, I'm like, oh, well, Thinker fellas are always invited.
I like that one. I like that one.
And so I have like 2 logos, and like the boys can have birthday parties and the girls can too. And they all get the same lab coats and goggles. And then Thinker Kids is the after school program. So and we did a 2-week camp at my location in Harahan just a few weeks ago. And then also quite a few days with Nord at one of the camps that Nord did.
So what you mentioned that your background is not education, but you are bringing educators on board to deliver the material, right?
Correct. So I hire educators to actually write the modules. So each module for an experiment, each experiment lasts about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And we actually currently have in our bank, so since 2014, over 300 experiments in our bank.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, I mean, somebody comes to you and says, I want a Thinkerella, Thinkerfella birthday party this weekend, and then they can look at that bank and kind of pick and choose and put it together? How does it work?
Well, I kind of have the really good sense of what gets oohs and ahs.
Right.
And like, because there's like a golden sound in that room. And so I usually pick those.
Okay.
But I always ask what school they attend, because they may have done that experiment if they have the after school program, for example. And so, or if I've had multiple birthday parties with kids at that school, like I know what they've done and what they haven't done. So, so I hire teachers to facilitate the programs at their schools. Almost all the schools like to do that. I have a few that like want to bring a teacher in. And in that case, I have a few teachers on staff that will go. And then, so since I started in 2014, we've paid out over $60,000 in supplemental income to teachers.
Wow.
And it's 1 hour after school, once a week. They're given all the curriculum. And then I personally, sometimes with a couple other people, but usually it's just me, put together all of their materials for all of their children. So I will spend my time cutting out 200 starfish or like doing anything that, if you know about teachers, all the busy work that teachers do.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're visiting with Sherry Malosaw, Thinkerella. Now, hey, what is the age brackets that we're looking at for the kids?
So I have a pre-K through first program, a second through fourth, and a fifth through seventh. And I have curriculum for each one. Sometimes they do the same experiments, but just like the lessons are more in depth, like as they get older. But that fifth through seventh slot is not a very popular one. They're at that age, like my daughter's 14. They're at that age that like they don't want to do anything.
My 11-year-old still wants to be a scientist when he grows up, so I'm lucky in that respect. But I know in about 2 more years he's going to be right where your 14-year-old is.
And I'm competing with football or theater, or, I mean, there's just a lot that I'm competing with in that age bracket.
Now, what about, you were talking about art as well. What kind of, like, art projects do you do with them? And is it just, like, you know, like the visual arts, or do you do it like music? Because I'm an old music major. I might be a little jaded at times, but, you know.
So we've made a number of instruments.
Oh, really?
So we've done that. We actually... 2 weeks ago, so I put a feeler out. I didn't have any. So I put a feeler out on Facebook and said, hey, Thinkerella really needs some x-rays. Like, who can get me some x-rays? And floods of people came to me and said, we have them. So I was like, great.
Like the little pictures of the x-rays?
Like the whole x-ray.
Okay.
And so I actually have like a light box that they use for the x-rays.
Okay. Right.
And so I found one of the experiments that my writer had written. And it is, so I brought the x-ray. They got to see hands and I think like rib cage. It was really cool. And then they actually made their own x-ray. So a paper towel was open. They traced their hand on the paper towel.
Okay.
And then they drew the bones with like Elmer's glue.
Okay.
And then they folded the paper towel over and then used droppers to drop black ink over their hand, and you could see the bones through the black.
Yeah,
and it looked like a
Like an
it looked
X-ray.
like an X-ray.
See, I want to do the experiment that I keep seeing on TV with the Elmer's glue and make your own slime.
We've done that like a million times, but yeah, it's fun.
See, I'm the kid that would just do it all the time just because.
You know, we also had like speaking of geek stuff, we had a Doctor Who birthday party.
What?
Nice.
We I'm going to admit that I don't watch the show, but I looked up online, and so there was a banana experiment where we made banana tattoos.
Nice.
And we made a TARDIS rotocopter that flew, and we made galaxy balls, like we made bouncy balls.
Nice.
That's nice. We know a guy with a blue box and a tin dog if you need, so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, let us know.
All right, so how do people find you? How do they book a party for this? And you know, I guess, you know, price?
So, so a birthday party, I just literally looked at all the other birthday party companies and charged basically the same. Okay. So it's $320 for 12 kids, and then
that's really not bad. 'Cause
no, it's not.
Like laser tag was like a grand.
Yeah,
so.
we had one at City Park that was out of control.
It's brutal.
So, and then for every kid over those 12, they paid like a certain, like it's $17. But each kid gets a lab coat to keep.
Oh.
And then anything we make, they get to keep as well.
Okay.
And so and I provide the invitation. So the mom really doesn't have to lift any fingers. She doesn't have to go get favors because that's their favors. And she doesn't have to pay for kids that don't come. So if only 12 kids come, that's all she pays. But if, 17 kids come, she'll pay for that many. But I really wanted it because the worst thing is when you have to pay for a ton of kids.
Right.
And then 5 show up. Like,
Been
nobody
there, yeah.
wants that.
Right.
So, we're really active on our Facebook page, and it's, Thinkarella in New Orleans. And then we have a website, mythinkarella.com. And then, my phone number's all over the place. It's my phone number.
Is there like a list of the schools that you guys partner with that?
There's a list of schools, articles, different awards that we've gotten. And yeah.
No, that's great, man. Dave, maybe you can look into getting your kids into some of that.
I might have to.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. I mean, it's a great option as opposed to like, okay, we're gonna do a party. Here's some damn pizza. Shut up, leave me alone.
Well, and there's only so many bounce house parties, or
I'm so tired of Sector 6. Oh my God, just
Sector 6. Right. Well, I have nothing against those businesses at all.
Oh no, I mean,
but by the time you get in like 4th grade.
Right.
We've been to so many that I wanted something new and different. And the good thing about Thinkarella is that we have different experiments all the time. And my bank is getting bigger with new experiments. So, yeah. And if you want us in your after school program, want the after school program at your school, I need to be reached out to and then introduced to either the principal or the after school coordinator.
Cool.
All right, awesome. Sherry Malonzo, thank you so much for coming out today. We appreciate it. All right, guys, when we get back, Brian, we have another interview?
Yeah, we
Holy
have
crap.
The Slants from MechaCon. It's a really cool interview. And
they just won a Supreme Court case, didn't they?
And we talk about that. So, guys, stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Roast beef po' boy.
I like your roast beef.
Roast beef.
Roast beef po' boy.
I love taking a gravy bath when I come here and get a roast beef sandwich.
Paran's Roast Beef Po' Boys. Worth the drive from just about anywhere.
If you're from out of town or if you're a local, it's one of the places you need to come to if you come to New Orleans.
Yeah, come all the way from the French Quarter.
I live out the country right now, but every time I come in, I come to Paran's.
Roast beef.
I like your roast beef.
Paran's in Metairie and Kenner. Home of the Roast Beef Po' Boy.
If you're a sleep apnea sufferer who's on the go to your phone and call right now to try the world's first portable mini CPAP device, absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, an engineering marvel that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Its unique design is so small and so light, you can fit it in your laptop bag or purse to use anywhere you go. No more dragging around a big, bulky CPAP. Even better, now you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights by calling minicpap.com, 1-800-900-1672. Transcend is FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. You can also add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. So now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't wait. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-900-1672. That's 1-800-900-1672.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
When you're in need of pain relief, come to Need It Relief Massage Therapy. Kat is an experienced licensed massage therapist. Check out her website and book your session online now at massagetherapykm.com. Need It Relief Massage Therapy for some much needed relief.
Our 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet, September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to Win Your Trip starting tomorrow. State Farm Neighborhood Sessions celebrates great artists who inspire us to give back to our neighborhood. Head to neighborhoodsessions.com to check out what these artists did for their communities and find out how simple it is to help yours.
This is the Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Follow them on Twitter at TWIG Radio. Do it now!
Sorry if I know it's too sharp. Sorry if our voice is too raw. Don't make the pen a weapon and censor our intelligence until our thoughts mean nothing at all. Sorry if you take offense. Made up rules and played pretend.
This is Brian Hell with the Week in Geek Radio Show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, and I am with the Slants, and this is Simon Tam, the bassist.
Hi, how's it going?
And we have Joe Jong as the guitarist.
Howdy.
And Ken Shima, their lead vocalist.
What's up?
So, the Slants, this is such an unusual name, but I know that it has multiple layers of meaning. Tell me about what's going on here.
Well, we decided to call it the Slants because I wanted to talk about our perspective on life, what it's like to be people of color, especially Asian Americans, in the music industry. So it's kind of our slant on life, if you will. But it's also a way to pay homage to Asian American activists who've been kind of reclaiming or reappropriating this outdated slur for about 30, 40 years now. And so we wanted to kind of honor that work and do something really cool with it. Actually, in addition to all of that, it just sounds kind of like a new wave punk band.
Most definitely. Now, of course, that name was a bit controversial when you tried to trademark it with the government, but then that led to a Supreme Court ruling in your favor that was dropped down on June 19th, and that's been going on for like 7 years. So how is it now? What does this mean for you, and what does it mean for other groups who are trying to get this same trademark?
Well, what the ruling means is basically that the government can't use people's identities against them anymore. And that's what we actually found out, and something that's not reported often, is that the government said we were too Asian to use the mark. They said anyone else except for Asian people is allowed to register Slant or the Slants. but we were just way too Asian about it. We found out they were doing this over and over again with queer groups, with groups of other minorities that, they were either the wrong political persuasion, the wrong race, or wrong sexual orientation. And we decided that simply can't stand. So we took down that law, which now opens it up so that anyone can use these terms in order to remove the sting from them.
No, that's fantastic. Now, you guys have been around for 11 years now, starting way back in 2006. Your sound is described as Chinatown dance rock. Tell me, what does that exactly mean?
Well, we called it Chinatown dance rock because Chinatowns just kind of symbolically represent the only place that was safe and acceptable for Asian Americans to live in the U.S. for a while. We were kind of forced into these different parts of town, very much like redlining was used against Black and African American communities for a while. So we just thought this is kind of a way to also take that and say, like, you know what, it's our space. We're going to use it. And dance rock, because that's the kind of music we play. A little bit of rock and roll and a little bit of synth pop dancing music.
No, and you guys sounded great last night. So let me kind of go around the table. Ken, tell me about how you came onto band. You're fairly newer, right? 3 years ago you started. And tell me about your vocalist career and getting into this.
Before this, I was just trying to, scrap my way into the music industry, and, doing things by yourself is so hard, like the managing, the booking, and everything. So once I saw the ad for the Slants said wanted Asian lead singer, and I was just like, I'm Asian, I can sing, and it turned out to be like a perfect storm to be able to jump into the established band. And now the fact that Simon wears so many hats in the band makes it really just easy on me. All he says is when and where to sing, and I'll be there.
Now, Joe, you were absolutely shredding on that guitar last night. Tell me about your background as a guitarist and joining in with the band.
Yeah, I've only been in the band for about 2 years. Prior to that, I was with other music projects, but more as a writer and producer. So I would do a lot of writing for different bands. And my buddies have a studio out in Eugene, Oregon. So I worked out of there. And so I didn't even really think about touring as a musician because I thought that was just something young people did. And I don't think I would have ever really toured on my own. We tried back in the day, but never really happened. So to have hit upon this band was kind of like a jackpot / just sliding into some lucky situation. And it worked out great for me, so I'm really happy about that.
Now, of course, Simon, you're the bassist. How's your music career? Like, how'd you get started?
I started playing bass at the age of 10, so quite a while ago, and started performing in like local punk bands since I was about 13. This band started actually because I was inspired by a movie, Kill Bill, when I realized that there was a severe lack of representation of Asian Americans in Hollywood. And then I started thinking more deeply about it and realized, oh my goodness, there's like almost nobody in the music industry. I mean, you got the dude in Smashing Pumpkins, and that's kind of about it, at least back in 2004. So I wanted to change that. I wanted to provide some representation of our community and do so while playing some of the music that I loved growing up with, which is like stuff influenced by The Cure, Depeche Mode, New Order, Joy Division, bands like that.
So tell me about your latest album is The Band Who Must Not Be Named. Who wants to tell me about some of the influences going into this?
So for The Band Who Must Not Be Named, we decided we want to go in a little more pop direction, something a little less heavy and rock and roll and way more dancey and catchy. And so a lot of the music on this EP, Joe and I wrote with that in mind in particular. We actually had like a little Google Drive account full of like different songs we liked as for inspiration in terms of the vibe and the mix. And I think that became helpful as we started listening to more and more stuff in that realm and thinking, okay, what can we do to hit that kind of music that we also enjoyed. And since we actually had a different lineup then, one that wasn't as into heavy music, it seemed like a great time for it. And I think it works really well with everything that we do, from Ken's vocals to my bass playing to Joe's guitaring. It just seems a good mix of all of the stuff we're interested in and where we want to go.
No, that's great. So speaking of going places, where is the next stop for you guys? What's the next event that you are playing at?
We're going to be playing at Otakon. This is a big anime convention in Washington, D.C. Then doing a few local shows at home. And then after that, we're back on the road. So all of September, we're doing a national tour, coast to coast. So we'll hopefully be back in the Louisiana area as well.
Well, and we love having you. So how can folks find you, get your album, keep track of your tour dates, all that good stuff?
They can go to theslants.com, or even better, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/theslants. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc. as well. So people can find us in all these channels. But I would say the best way is actually signing up on our email list, which you can get to from our website, because we give out a lot of fan-exclusive information. We let you know when we're playing and what's happening, and we also give out a lot of sneak previews to things like new music videos and that sort of thing.
That's fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Catch right now, believing anything is possible. Oh, since I laid my eyes on you, I've got the moves you're moving to.
Need a new CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry the world's best CPAP machines, including top-of-the-line ResMed equipment. To move inventory, we're selling our ResMed AirStart machines at a fraction of the price of similar machines. Call now and ask for one of these overstocked CPAPs. We'll even provide free next-day air shipping on your ResMed machine order, so you get it fast. Call 1-800-600-5909. The best part? No insurance needed. Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and has everything you need to treat sleep apnea. With no retail overhead or costly middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com is overstocked on ResMed AirStart CPAPs and offering free next-day air shipping on these devices. Call now for these great deals and others. Call 1-800-600-5909. If lines are busy, please try again. That's 1-800-600-5909.
The Week in Geek, Sundays at 7 p.m. on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now with David D. DeCorbier and Brian Held. The Week in Geek, Sundays at 7 p.m. on WRNO. Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
The Dinero Shavers Education Fund is holding an essay contest for students from 7th to 12th grade. Deadline to enter is August 21st. Go to dsefnola.org for more information. Poetry in Motion Care Bears Incorporated is sponsoring a basketball fundraiser to support their mission of helping children with congenital heart defects. Go to poetryinmotioncarebears.webs.com. A message from WRNO Communities, helping to make a difference in New Orleans.
Now back to local celebrity, Brian Held. Hey, D Squared, meet me at the bar at 7 p.m. We'll have 2 drinks and then drink till 9 p.m. I'm already intoxicated. I hope there's a big taxi to take me home.
Welcome back. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared with
Brian Held.
Hey, Brian.
You know, apparently the voice guy can't tell time because it's almost 8.
What is it? He's drunk. Cut the man some slack. He's been drinking all day, man. God.
All right, you ready to close things down?
I'm always ready to close things down.
Hey, how can folks find out more about us?
Funny you should ask. As always, we strongly urge you to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twigradio and the Instagram's The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to hear your favorite part again, you can catch us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, and at WRNO.com.
Nice.
Yes.
Brian, you know, while we were at the commercial break, I was perusing the intranet, and I came across this article from Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Remember in Return of the Jedi when they're all getting ready to run into the base on Endor, you know? They got that old rebel trooper with the big white bushy beard.
Yes.
Do you know who he is?
Is it Rex?
He has now officially been confirmed as Rex, and they even gave out the picture of you know, how he's going to look. But here, listen to this. This is Captain Rex Troop. Oh, well, never mind.
Oh, come on, Dave.
Well, I had it. Well, here, listen. It's like we're coming back.
Yeah.
This is Captain Rex, troopers, and you're listening to The Week in Geek. Now, move out.
Move out. That's John Bailey.
Yeah.
John Bailey. Yeah,
Nice.
man. So Rex is he survives. He survives.
No,
all the way
that's
to
good.
Return of the Jedi.
I know. That's awesome.
All right, you ready to do This Week in Geek History?
Yes, sir.
This Week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future! Yes! Oh my God!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This Week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Da-na-na. Da-na-na. Wow. All right, Brian, learn me something.
All right, on July 31st, 2004, the animated Justice League Unlimited debuts on Cartoon Network, picking up where Justice League left off.
No way.
Yes way.
Well, at the Hall of Justice.
And, you know, credit where credit's due, man. DC has animated, you know, flicks right, man. They do a fantastic job.
You know, actually, the new Batman with Harley Quinn, the animated version is going to be coming out. They're going to be doing one of those Fathom Events deals.
Oh, okay.
And actually, we didn't get to it in Top Nerd News. They're going to have a Fathom event on August 17th. And then the 24th, the 5 Doctors. It's going to be that Riff Tracks thing where it's the people from MST3K making fun of the movie. And, I mean, have you ever seen the 5 Doctors?
I honestly have not.
Dude, it is horribly awesome. I mean, I got it on VHS tape, and I mean, it's gloriously bad.
Nice.
And so, we ought to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's make it a thing.
Okay.
All right.
We'll do that.
Back
Let's
to
do
history.
that. Okay.
All right.
Come on, thinker fella.
August 1st, 1986. I brought this up because this came up on our Facebook page here recently. Sees the release of Howard the Duck the movie.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That was a bad movie.
It was a bad movie, but there was some talk. Ernie posted an article about a reboot possibly happening, and our fans were very vocal that it should not happen.
Look, I mean, even it's really hard to make a duck look real on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, they pulled it off with Rocket Raccoon, so I guess anything is technically possible. But, I mean, I didn't even like the way he looked at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it looked kind of funky.
Cheesy. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off.
All right, next on my list, August 2nd, 1997. Sees the granting of U.S. patent 5,662,332 for collectible card games to Wizards of the Coast.
And it exploded.
Yes.
Man, crack was born on that day.
Oh, man, it explode?
Crack the Gathering.
Yes.
That, I still have all my cards, though. I don't even know what the hell is going on with Magic, though, anymore, man. Once they started adding flanking and all this other crap, I don't even know how to play anymore. I mean, apparently the way we learned when they first brought it out, completely different.
It's not completely different, but there are some changes.
Well, there's so many card changes and rules changes pertaining to the cards that I wouldn't even have a clue what the hell's going on anymore.
But I bet if you go to your friendly local gaming shop on a Friday night, you can find plenty of Magic happening.
There's magic in the air, Brian. What's
next? August 3rd, 1977. The Trash 80 is born when Tandy Corporation announces the TSR-80 microcomputer Model 1 to be sold at Radio Shack outlets.
Radio Shack?
Yes.
Wow. How many of those are left in the world?
Not a lot.
Like 8?
I learned how to program BASIC on a Trash 80 in high school, believe it or not.
Good for you.
Yes.
There's actually a Radio Shack across the street from me right on Veterans.
It's closed.
Well, it's been closing for like a year now. I mean, they still got the big giant things like closing soon sale.
No, I thought it was completely empty.
I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll have to check. I'll check on my way home tonight.
There you go.
What's next?
August 4th, 1997. According to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, this is the day that Skynet goes online.
Really?
Yes.
What is this theme song to?
I thought you hated this song, Dave.
I do.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
We're running out of time.
All right,
my next one is a twofer. It segues right into birthdays.
Yay.
On August 6, 2012, Curiosity is a car-shaped robotic rover exploring the Gate crater on Mars. That's when it landed.
Okay.
All right. The birthday is that every year since it has landed, it plays Happy Birthday to You. And is clearly the loneliest birthday in the entire solar system.
Jesus. One is the loneliest number that... Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so that was, what's today, the 6th? That was today?
Well, no, he's still got, your boy Matt Damon to keep him company. Matt Damon!
Right. All right. Other birthdays on the 31st, Wesley Snipes.
Oh, man, Blade.
Yes, on the 1st, Lewis Smith. He was Perfect Tommy in Buckaroo Banzai.
Man, is poor Blade still in jail for tax evasion?
Probably.
Poor bastard.
Yes. On the 2nd, actor-director Kevin Smith.
Hey, all right. And the moo-moo was brought back into the lexicon of the world.
Well, he likes to think it's a hockey jersey. On the 4th.
Brian, that was mean! You said something mean!
On the 4th.
Oh, my God!
Billy Bob Thornton.
I win! Okay, sorry.
Billy Bob Thornton on the 4th.
He drinks pig's blood.
He does.
That dude's weird.
And on the 5th, we have a cosplay personality, Jessica Negri.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. She's a model and a correspondent for some online thing.
Some online thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to check out her opinions like it's an op-ed. Absolutely.
All right, guys, next week, our guest is Mr. Rob Reed, author of After On. It actually released on the 1st. Is a fantastic book, and I can't wait to talk to him about it, so tune in.
And in 2 weeks from now, we're going to Pensacon? Not Pensacon,
Pensacola Comic Convention. Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's our girl,
Erica.
Yes.
Yes, so we'll be out there. Come say hi.
Good Lord, and then like 2 weeks after that, we're going to freaking Dragon Con?
Oh, my God, I'm
crap.
so excited.
Dude, I know
your head is going to explode.
And it explode. I'm not going to play that. All right, let's take a montage as we go to break.
Fantastic.
Guys, as always, Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and the Instagram. It's just The Weekend Geek. Download the free iHeartRadio app, people, for the love of God. Listen to us everywhere.
Yeah.
At your house, at your friend's house.
In your friend's bathroom.
You had to go and make it weird, didn't you? Had to make it weird. All right, guys. I'm looking forward to the reboot Karate Kid.
Oh, God.
Woo! Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
Your new home for Walton and Johnson. News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.